Copyright is complicated, full stop.
That's today's guest, Executive General Manager of School Music License, Brenna Horn-Cronin, reminding us of why we need experts. Welcome to Music Ed Insights. I'm leadership trainer and former band director Alan Fire, here with composer and co-college music education program head Steve Shanley.
Each episode, Alan and I talk with national thought leaders in music education with practical insights for K-12 music educators.
Steve, tell us about our guest.
Brenna C. Horn-Cronin serves as Executive General Manager of School Music License, which helps thousands of schools make the most of their arts and athletics programs. Brenna also currently serves on the board of the Chicago Metropolitan Sports Association, previously served on the board of directors for the Illinois Theater Association, and supports education justice efforts for young women in Rwanda. She lives in Chicago, Illinois with her wife and family, and is a proud alumna of Northwestern University and Western Michigan University. Find Brenna's full bio, show notes, and resources at musicedinsights.com. Alan, what was the takeaway you had from this episode?
I like it when experts can take something complicated and make it all easier to understand and deal with. What about you, Steve?
Well, you know me. I've been neck deep in music copyright issues for a few decades now, and I was not aware that School Music License could help us retroactively license old performances to be shared on YouTube, Facebook, and other platforms. So if you've got some concerts from last year that you didn't license, but you'd like to share them now, School Music License has you covered.
Yes, and there's a discount code, INSIGHTS10, INSIGHTS10, if you're interested in their services. And now let's get to Brenna Horn-Cronin.
Brenna Horn-Cronin, welcome to the program.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
We've asked you to join us today to help us better understand the complexities of recording and streaming our performances. So first, could you please tell us a little about School Music License and your mission?
Absolutely. I'll start with this. Copyright is complicated, full stop. Our educational mission at School Music License is to simplify the process of music licensing for K-12 schools in the U.S. That mission is three-pronged. First, it's to empower students to let their students shine online. The second is to support school community engagement with licensed performances, keyword licensed. And third is to champion ethical music royalty practices. So through this mission, we know that everybody wins. K-12 music educators can confidently and legally stream student performances. The school community and alumni can engage with the incredible music that students are making, and composers are fairly compensated for their contributions to students' education. Major social media platforms already have one portion of the licensing in place, the PRO licenses that come from performing rights organizations. However, those platforms do not provide the additional necessary licenses with music publishers or music labels. So that's where School Music License comes into play. Without us, the social media platforms can and do issue takedown notices and mute whole entire sections of video streams.
So can we first start with what are we allowed to do as K-12 music teachers that will not require any sort of license or permission?
It is our read of the copyright law, and it is our attorney's read of the copyright law that there is no licensing that is required for in-person public performances. There are K-12 exemptions under the copyright law. We look at a band concert as an educational endeavor. No one really bats an eye at, a $5, fundraising ticket that's going to go right back into the program, right? So everything that's happening inside of those four walls of that auditorium, no problem.
What are some of the most common ways you have encountered that we can get into trouble? So, for example, actions that maybe a lot of teachers think are okay, but in reality, they are definitely not okay.
Yeah, and let me start with some compassion. Technology changes, right? And I don't want anybody to ever feel like the rules are changing, but I think technology changes, the internet changes, what folks are doing changes. And there's a way, I think, to do things more ethically and more legally than ever before. I mean, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, this whole concept didn't exist. So I'll start with this. The streaming piece of this is key. So we know that streaming isn't the way of the future. Streaming is now, especially post pandemic. It is impossible for everyone to be in the room where it happens, so to speak, right? So recording and archiving or even live streaming of your events makes sure that out of state family and friends, a parent with a work obligation, or alumni who want to watch the performance years and years into the future can all have access to the recording because it was originally made legally. So not to be overly nostalgic, but if you'll indulge me for just a second, if I personally could access the recordings of my choir concerts from the late 90s and early 2000s, I would in an absolute heartbeat. Unfortunately, those only exist on incredibly illegal VHS tapes. And maybe, or even not at all, I should say, because teachers, my teachers in particular, were especially, understandably, I should say, nervous to record. And I don't fault them for that. I really don't. I think that everybody does the best they can with the information that they have at the time. And the good news is that technology and licensing have caught up with those good intentions.
Great. So you mentioned archive recordings. I think that might be something that a lot of people are under the impression they may legally record their concert and save it as long as it's for archival purposes and they're not distributing it or selling it or anything along those lines. What is your take on that?
Yeah, so I think there's a difference between like making one copy or one archived recording that's going to sit in, the proverbial file cabinet and never be seen by anybody. That's very, very different than a school having a YouTube channel or having those YouTube videos that are then, shared to their school's website, where there's a robust archive where alumni and even current students, honestly, I mean, who hasn't been a part of a concert and then wanted to watch it back, right? This opportunity to be able to have a robust archive is, I think, in my opinion, one of the most powerful parts of the license. If you have alumni 5, 10, 15, 20 years from now that want to go back and watch those events, and it isn't just band, choir, and orchestra concerts, it's also football games, gymnastics meets, cheer and POMS performances, etc., right? They can access that because the school has invested in that archive long term. It's huge.
What about other, maybe less common instances that you think it would be good for us to know about?
One of the things that's really powerful about school music license is that it doesn't just support music departments. So it supports wherever music is happening throughout the entire school or school district. So where your listeners would certainly have a deep understanding of the copyright complexities of a band, choir, or orchestra concert, marching band performance, etc., that's only one part of what we offer. Streaming permissions for live student musicians is covered under the annual basic license, and that actually launched in 2023. So that's been around for a while. Where the annual basic license and the master recording license work together is at an event that includes live student musicians and recorded commercial tracks. I think the best example of this is probably a Friday night football game where the focus of the audience switches back and forth from the music that they're watching those students perform, right? And then what they're hearing from the loudspeaker. So commonly, if a school were to upload that game online, whole entire sections of the live marching band, as well as those recorded tracks by like a cheer or a POMS team, would be muted or the video would be taken down entirely. So the service allows the entire culture of your Friday night event to be shared online from start to finish. I think we all know that a football game isn't just about the football plays, right? It's the entire culture and spirit of the school that brings everything together. And we believe that there should be a way for that entire event to be showcased online.
Sorry, what about the concessions? Can we bring the concessions to the streaming experience?
Yes, I'm a big pretzel guy, so yes, please.
All right. So, what are the penalties for streaming or sharing recordings without permission?
Yeah, so the first one that comes to mind is muted videos and takedown notices. I think those are the biggest ones in the streaming space and the ones that we're all probably pretty familiar with. Copyright holders, as the holder of the copyright, quite literally, like it's their intellectual property, they can absolutely apply penalties to schools for not securing appropriate permissions. Their, terms and practices and all of that is certainly not something that I can speak to, but they have the right to do it. We host the rights for over 10 million titles from nearly 10,000 member publishers and member labels, including many, many, many of your favorite music education publishers. And we also work with all the majors. So Disney, Sony Music Publishing, Universal Music Publishing Group, BMG, Cobalt, Warner Chappell Music. The reach and the impact of this is significant. And on the master recording side, new titles are added every single day. In the last week alone, we've added works from Lady Gaga, Nicki Minaj, Olivia Rodrigo, Noah Khan, Imagine Dragons, Kendrick Lamar, Fall Out Boy. I could go on and on.
All right. So let's say my upcoming choir concert, five of the seven titles are available. What happens for that sixth and seventh title that we don't have?
Great question. So the process doesn't change. You would still follow up with that copyright holder directly, and you would find out what their individual process is for securing permissions. The goal, though, in that of those seven pieces is that previously, so prior to school music license, you would need to do the administrative work of all seven of those individually. And now theoretically, you only have to do two of the seven. The two that you don't see, reach out to our team. Maybe there's something that we can do on your behalf. I literally just wrote a solicitation letter to an attorney yesterday for a very popular band that I cannot say out loud, but I can assure you that our research and our copyright team will go to work for you as part of this relationship piece here. It's really important to us.
So they should definitely ask you first before trying to go on the ASCAP site and finding someone to respond to.
100%, because maybe we're able to get the answer faster for you, or maybe a school asked the same question a month or two ago, right? And we can provide the most update information we can.
So is this the type of thing that we contact you before every concert and we pay per concert, or do we do something kind of blanket for the year or for the school or the district? Can you go into a little bit more detail about that, please?
Absolutely. The answer is blanket. So we make sure that our pricing is equitable to grade level and enrollment. So the overwhelming majority of our categories are about less than $1 per student per year for the school. There are volume discounts for districts, so that's something that's available to folks as well. Believe it or not, we actually license more whole entire districts than we do individual schools. I think that school admins feel really, comfortable with the idea of this shouldn't be coming out of a limited music budget. This shouldn't be coming out of, just the band's budget, right? The focus should really be on looking at this from a risk management, from an insurance type of perspective. But yes, we have options for the whole entire school district or just individual schools, but it is blanket. So it's for the year. It's an annual license. There's no need to reach out to us to secure permissions for an individual event. So you wouldn't email us and say, hey, we have this license, but we need permission for this band concert. It's already included. All of the events that happen under your school's umbrella are included.
And then back to that previous example where maybe five of my selections for the choir concert are included, but two aren't. Then we would reach out and ask, or before each concert, do we check a master list that you have to make sure that everything we're performing is on it? How does that part look?
Beautiful question. So in an education space, there is so much rehearsal involved, right? No one starts rehearsing holiday music December 1st. Everyone is singing holiday music in October, right? Marching bands are putting together their shows in May, June, and July. So there's tons and tons and tons of time for music educators to reach out to us and secure their permissions. And the same is true for athletic directors too. You probably know what your dance team, your drill team, your cheer team is all dancing to weeks and weeks and months in advance. For those two songs that you mentioned that you don't readily see right available in our very transparent, searchable website, let us reach out to those folks on behalf for you. And if for whatever reason they are not opting into the service, or it's something that is going to take a lot of time, or there's a lot of loopholes, then surely all of the publishers, because they've been doing this for ages, have their own individual processes for what it looks like to secure permissions.
That sounds great. So, as I'm planning for my upcoming concert in 6 weeks, I check in with your master list. It looks like everything is on there. I'm all good. I don't need to reach out anymore because our blanket license has it covered for the year. The only time I would need to reach out again is if perhaps something is not on that list. Is that correct?
Bingo.
And finally, so let's say, ideally, of course, we are taking advantage of your wonderful service every year. But let's say we only pay for it for 1 year. Everything that we've done that year, is that covered for the future, or only as long as we are paying school music license, may it be rebroadcast or streamed again?
Yeah, good question. So the licensing permissions that you would secure for that year, and they can begin anytime, they can be forward dated, backdated, whatever works for you and your school or you and your district. Those permissions only extend to you for that year. So you would theoretically need to take everything down. Now, that doesn't mean that everything has to be deleted. It just goes into that proverbial file cabinet that we were talking about before, and it can't be living on Facebook or YouTube.
So you said something almost in passing, but I think might be a very big deal, especially to some of our more experienced, or shall we say, older listeners. You could go back if we paid for the license for this year with you. We could go back to our 2013 show choir performance or marching band performance that we have on video and start streaming that.
What a good question. 2013, I would have to give a good think about that too, because the service literally didn't exist then. But I love this archiving question that you're having because it presses upon the nostalgic element of this that we were talking about earlier, but certainly to 2023. And I'll tell you this, we had a license holder who reached out to us in the spring of last year. He had just heard about the service. He wanted the license to start right away. So I think it began, April 1st or something like that. Then he realized that if he backdated it to August 1st, he could allow his entire marching band season to live on YouTube. So the backdating, the future dating, that thing is that the piece of that, excuse me, is really, really powerful. We want this to work for what's best for you and your district and you and your school.
All right, I've got some more questions for you, but none of them involve potential fines or muting or going to jail. It's our lightning round. Are you ready?
Let's do it.
All right, what is your favorite restaurant in the Chicagoland area?
Ooh, right now, my favorite restaurant is Tandoor Char House in Lincoln Park. You cannot go wrong with anything on their menu.
All right, how about a piece of music, composer, or performer that you wish more people knew about?
Well, two of my very favorite artists recently just came out with new music, Brandy Carlisle and Johnny Swim. The former you're likely familiar with, the latter I would love for you to be familiar with. I've been listening to both of them on repeat, but I also love Jill Andrews' sound. You probably know her voice from underscoring a lot of TV shows, even if you don't know her name, but her solo work is lovely.
How about a favorite film or TV series you've enjoyed recently?
Well, I'll tell you what, if you ask me what my favorite season is, I would say awards, because even though there are lots and lots of nurses in my family, I'm not sure I was prepared for the pit. Catherine Lanassa and Noah Wiley absolutely deserved those Emmy Awards, hands down. Speaking of which, I was thrilled to see Jeff Hiller and Bridget Everett celebrated for Somebody Somewhere. I know, it's so
Jeff
good.
Hiller.
So good. And that show, I will tell you, I'm a huge Schitt's Creek fan, and that show has like all of the feel good energy that Schitt's Creek did. Somebody Somewhere, guys, you must watch it.
Agreed. It's one of the best shows that nobody's watching.
Thank you.
How about the most memorable live music performance you've attended?
I love live music. I love concerts. I'm a pop culture person, I have to say. And I've really been moved by live music since I was younger. I mean, the first real concert experience I can remember was the Goo Goo Dolls when I was in high school. Just outrageous. Best thing I've ever seen in my life. As a millennial, though, I would be remiss if I didn't highlight just how extraordinary of the production value the Cowboy Carter tour and the Eras tours were. Just absolute tour de force athleticism on stage. Just the best. They're simply the best.
And finally, a book recommendation for our listeners, please.
Oh, the overwhelming majority of my reading time is with a toddler right now. So she asks every single day, multiple times a day, for her chicken book. And at first, we had absolutely no idea what she was talking about. But it turns out that she was asking for her kitchen book, which is this lovely, it took us a week to figure it out. It's this lovely, lovely book called Our Little Kitchen. And it's a story of a community coming together to serve their neighbors dinner. And she just loves it. And I love that she loves it. And honestly, I think we should all be spending more time serving our neighbors dinner.
Brenna Horn-Cronin, it's been really interesting and really helpful to visit with you, and fun too. So thanks so much for joining us today.
You're so welcome. Thanks for the time. I really appreciate it. If folks have questions, they can email us at info@schoolmusiclicense.com. We'd be happy to chat. We'd be happy to get into the weeds with you on some of this copyright stuff. And if any of your listeners want to take advantage of a license with us, they can use the promo code INSIGHTS10, INSIGHTS10, and we'll give them a nice discount on their license this year.
Thanks for listening to Music Ed Insights.
We're supported by Group Dynamic, a leading provider of youth leadership workshops. Alan works with dozens of schools each year to help develop their leaders. Learn more at groupdynamicyouth.com.
Or you could email me at alan@groupdynamic.net. Also sponsored by the Co-College Music Education Program. They've got a website too.
Just click their link at our website or email me at shanley@coe.edu.
Also, The Normal Design, helping normal companies and people create memorable, meaningful, and professional designs and branding. More at thenormaldesign.com.
And Winterset Websites, website design and maintenance. wintersetwebsites.com.
Our Facebook page is Music Ed Insights.
Our website has program notes, links, and a one-page download of this episode's key takeaways. That's on musicedinsights.com.
You can expect a new episode most Mondays during the school year.
Get current.
Stay relevant.
Music Ed Insights.